What's this? A letter for me.
Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports Through the Mail Thursdays. I decided to keep the theme of Team USA going, even though we're just a little bit past the 4th of July. The 4th of July was just this past Monday, but I thought I'd share some Team USA returns, and I'm only going to share 2 returns this episode because I've been sitting on one of these returns for a couple months now because I was looking, hey, I'm going to wait till I get another Team USA return. And I'm kind of glad that I did because the first one that I am going to send back is actually a current manager in the major league. So at the time that I wrote him, he was not the manager. So who am I talking about? The first one is actually current Anaheim Angels, Los Angeles Angels manager Phil Nevin on 1, 2 from his college days, and a 3rd from his playing days, which I thought this was just an absolutely cool card of him. So let me tell you about Phil Nevin and his career in baseball. Phil Nevin, a California native, played his high school baseball at the famous El Dorado High School in California. He was originally drafted by the nearby Los Angeles Dodgers in the 3rd round out of high school, but instead chose to sign with Cal State Fullerton, a local college, instead of signing a professional contract with the Dodgers. A 2-sport star at Cal State Fullerton, playing both football and baseball. He played for the football team as the place kicker and obviously played baseball as well. As a kicker, he actually was 15 for 21 with field goal percentages as the kicker for the football team at Cal State Fullerton. Now on the baseball diamond, as a freshman, he batted .358 and cracked in 56 RBIs as a freshman. As a freshman, the Titans won the conference and reached the College World Series. His following year, he batted .335 his sophomore season, and they didn't go to the College World Series, but as a junior, he returned batting .391 and hitting 20 home runs and 70 RBIs, winning the Big West Conference Triple Crown, and became the Baseball America and Collegiate Baseball College Player of the Year. He was also given the Golden Spikes Award as well that year. In 3 seasons with Cal State Fullerton, Nevin batted .364, hit 39 home runs, and helped lead the Titans to the finals of the 1992 College World Series, unfortunately where they lost to Pepperdine. Despite the loss, he was still voted the College World Series most outstanding player, as he went 10 for 19 with 2 home runs and 11 RBIs. Well, while at the College World Series in 1992, the Houston Astros chose to sign him as the first overall pick in the 1992 draft. Many believed Nevin to be a first overall pick because he was more signable, and the Astros at the time weren't looking to spend a lot of money because there was this other kid from Michigan named Derek Jeter that was also drafted, but there was a fear that maybe Jeter would demand more of a signing bonus if he went number 1 overall, as the Yankees had previously drafted Brian Taylor, and signed him to $1.2 million. Well, the thought process for the Astros was that if they could sign Nevin for an affordable contract, they would sign him to a deal. So eventually the Astros selected him, and he signed on the dotted line for a $700,000 signing bonus. Previous to him being drafted, he obviously played in 1990 for Team USA internationally. But after he signed his pro contract, he was then already tested as the number 1 overall pick in AAA for the Houston Astros in 1993. His first full season in 1993, he appeared in 123 games, hit 10 home runs, drove in 93 RBIs, batting a respectable .286 in AAA for the Astros. Despite this, there was no call-up, and in 1994, in the strike-shortened season, he repeated with 118 games, hitting 12 home runs and batting a respectable .263. Well, again, because of the strike-shortened season, it's probably likely that during the 40-man call-up time, he probably would have made his major league debut with the Astros. Well, going into 1995, after the labor negotiations were all straightened out, he was assigned to the Houston Astros AAA affiliate. He did spend some time in AAA. However, he did get called up to the majors on June 11th, 1995 with the Astros. He would appear in just 18 games at the major league level for the Astros that year, because on August 15th, 1995, the Astros decided to trade him to the Detroit Tigers for pitcher Mike Henneman. Nevin would finish the year with Detroit, and then in 1996 would appear in just 38 games for the Tigers at the major league level, spending most of the season in 1996 appearing in 98 games for the Tigers AAA affiliate. 1997, Nevin would get a call up to the majors where he would appear in 93 games, but he would put together just a .235 batting average and hit 9 home runs, and would be delegated basically to part-time duties. Well, in the offseason after the 1997 season, the Detroit Tigers would trade him to the Anaheim Angels for Matt Walbeck. Well, at the Angels, he would transform himself and would try to do his best being a part-time utility type player, even catching for the Angels, appearing in just 75 games. After spending just 1 year with the Angels decided to trade him then to the San Diego Padres for a minor leaguer in Andy Sheets. Well, with the Padres, he would rejuvenate himself, and in 1999 he would appear in 128 games for the Padres, batting .269 and hitting 24 home runs, which kind of came out of nowhere. The following year, in 2000, he would appear in 143 games for the Padres, and when they'd hit 31 home runs, at that point a career high in home runs and driving 107 RBIs. Well, in 2001, he would have the best year of his career. At 30 years old, he appeared in 149 games for the Padres, batting .306, hitting 41 home runs, and driving in 126 RBIs playing for the Padres. In 2001, he wouldn't match this success, but he would hit 12 home runs and bat .285. In 2003, some injuries kind of hampered his season where he would appear in just 59 games for the Padres. In 2004, he would come back and bat .289, hitting 26 home runs and driving in 105 at 33 years old for the Padres. The following year, in 2005, he would split time between the Padres before they decided to trade him to the Texas Rangers, where he would finish out the year. He would spend another year in 2006 with the Rangers, appearing in just 46 games, and then be traded to the Chicago Cubs and finishing up the 2006 season with the Minnesota Twins. So in total, Phil Nevin appeared in 1,217 games in the major leagues. He had a respectable .270 lifetime batting average and hit over 208 home runs throughout his career. The Padres obviously is where he had his most success, where he hit 156 of his 208 home runs with the Padres in 7 seasons. So overall, the number 1 overall pick had a very respectable career. Was he Chipper Jones? Was he Ken Griffey Jr.? Was he Alex Rodriguez? No. But he did have a very respectable career as the number 1 overall pick. Some of them, some people that have been drafted number 1 overall don't necessarily have the career that Phil Nevin had. So it didn't end with that. So after retiring in 2007, just 2 seasons from being a player, Nevin decided to return to baseball as a manager in 2008 for the Orange County Flyers, an independent league team at the time in the Golden Baseball League. Nevin coached in the independent league through 2010 and then signed with the Detroit Tigers, the team that he once played for, to become their Class AA minor league manager. And throughout his career, he would then continue to coach through the minor leagues, and until 2017, the San Francisco Giants gave him a shot as a coach on their coaching staff. He spent only one season with the Giants and then moved on to the New York Yankees, where he spent from 2018 to 2021 on the Yankees coaching staff. After the 2021 season, the Yankees chose not to renew Nevin's contract, and he returned home to become a coach with the Los Angeles Angels in 2022. Well, after Joe Madden was fired in June of 2022, Phil Nevin was named the manager of the Los Angeles Angels. And as of me shooting this video, Nevin is the manager of the Angels and, doing a pretty good job, from what I can understand. But, on his first day as the manager of the Angels, he won his first game, breaking their 14-game losing streak. So I guess that's something. But another couple things to note is Phil does have a couple children that play baseball. His son Tyler Nevin is currently with the Baltimore Orioles organization, and his other son is currently playing with Baylor University in Texas. So keep your eyes open for his son in Baylor, because he might be joining the professional ranks here pretty soon with his brother. So very happy to add Phil Nevin to the collection. Very happy to get the first overall pick in anything, to sign an autograph for me. But very happy also to get the 91 Topps traded signed, for my set, because I'm kind of loosely collecting the 91 set as well now. Not as hardcore as I have been the 80 set, but if I run into a good deal and a good signer, I definitely ask them for their autograph. So we'll move on to the next one. All right, so this next individual that I'm going to introduce to you, I come with a heavy heart, I guess you would say. And not knowing this publicly, when I wrote this individual, I had no clue that he was suffering from a debilitating disease. I recently, in the last couple months, got a return from Team USA member, left-handed pitcher Jim Poole, on 2 Team USA cards, along with a 91 Don Fleer, and a 93 Topps. And Mr. Poole graciously signed all 4 cards for me. But the thing that I did not know was that Mr. Poole is suffering from ALS. In other words, Lou Gehrig's disease. Mr. Poole was diagnosed in 2021 with ALS. He has been a good signer to the hobby of autographs for many, many years. When I wrote him, I was unaware of that. Otherwise, I would have included a donation for his time, because I have seen that since his diagnosis, he is requesting for a donation for the ALS fund. If you want to learn more about that, I'll definitely put a link down here at the bottom. But I want to share with you the story of Jim Poole. Born in New York, Poole actually attended high school in Pennsylvania and was drafted by the Los Angeles Dodgers in the 34th round of the 1987 draft. Poole elected not to sign with the Dodgers, but instead decided to go to Georgia Tech University instead and pitch for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets in Atlanta, Georgia. The following year, in 1988, the Los Angeles Dodgers again drafted him in the 9th round this time, and he decided to sign. Well, obviously, when he was still a collegiate player, he played for Team USA in the Pan American Games and also was a member of the first ever gold medal winning 1988 Team USA baseball team. Well, after winning his gold medal, he was assigned to the Dodgers single-A affiliate, where he appeared in 10 games to finish out the year. Well, in 1989, he had a phenomenal season in single-A, where he went 11-4 with a 1.58 ERA and 61 appearances for the Dodgers single-A affiliate. The following year, in 1990, the Dodgers tested him at Double-A, and he responded in 54 games with a 2.40 ERA. Well, with this, the Los Angeles Dodgers called Jim Poole up to the major leagues on June 15th, 1990, and he responded, appearing in 16 games for the Dodgers that year. So despite having a somewhat decent year that year for the Dodgers, the Dodgers decided to trade him in the 1991 offseason to the Texas Rangers. Well, he only spent a brief period with the Texas Rangers that season, and he appeared in just 5 games for the Texas Rangers before he was claimed off waivers by the Baltimore Orioles. Well, the Orioles put him on their roster in 1991, and he responded to appearing in 24 games, posting a 3-2 record with just a 2.00 ERA out of the bullpen. Well, in 1992, he did not make the Major League Club, appeared in just 6 games that year for the Orioles, and spent the majority of the season in AA and AAA, where his record fell to 1-7 with a 4.72 ERA. Well, in 1993, he bounced back, appeared in 55 games for the big club in Baltimore, posting a 2-1 record with a 2.15 ERA, one of the best in baseball. In 1994, in the strike-shortened season, he had a pretty bad year, actually, where his ERA almost tripled with a 6.64 ERA in 38 appearances. Well, after the 94 season, the Orioles didn't renew his contract, and he signed with the Cleveland Indians. Well, in 1995, he would rejuvenate his career with the Indians, appearing in 42 games, posting a 3-3 record for the Indians that year. Also pitching in the World Series. In 1996, he would again start the year with Cleveland. However, after 32 games, they would ship him off to the San Francisco Giants for Mark Carreon. In total, he would have an excellent year in 1996, appearing in 67 games, posting a 2.86 ERA, splitting between the two clubs. Well, the following year, in 1997, he struggled, appearing in 63 games, and an ERA was above 7 that year. Well, after the time with the Giants, they actually let him go, and he went back to Cleveland. So in 1998, he appeared in the AAA for Cleveland as well, but also appeared in 12 games for the Indians at the Major League level. In 1999, he would start the year with Cleveland. However, after a rough start, he would be let go, and the Philadelphia Phillies would sign him, where he would finish out the 1999 season. So after the 99 season, he would then sign to pitch for the Detroit Tigers in 2000. Well, on May 17th, Detroit decided to let him go after just a few games with the team, actually a few months with the team. He didn't stay unemployed long, as he signed with the Expos, but that was very short-lived, as by June 7th, the Expos had released him as well. Well, he must have really loved Cleveland, because on June 9th, he again signed with the Cleveland Indians. However, they did not bring him up to the majors, and he finished out the year primarily pitching in the minor leagues for the Indians organization, and then retired from baseball after that. So post-playing career, I'm not too sure what actually he did, but as I mentioned earlier in the video, he has now been diagnosed with ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease. I have seen that he is trying to raise money for awareness for ALS. So if he is still capable of signing autographs, he might be able to do that and accommodate you. But if he is not, a donation, I'm definitely going to send a few dollars his way myself. And the main thing that I wanted to do was recognize how important of a player this guy was. He was a member of the gold medal winning Team USA team. I'm so happy to add his autograph to my collection. I had written him before in the past, but very happy to get a couple more Team USA cards signed. I'm also very happy to get Phil Nevin for the first time in my life, especially on his Team USA card. I apologize, because I talked a lot about these two individuals, which was kind of over the time that I normally talk about people. That's why I decided to only do 2 this episode. But after you listen to what I had to say, you probably will agree with me that Mr. Poole himself probably deserves an episode just by himself. So thank you for your time. I look forward to your comments below. And as always, thank you, and God bless Mr. Poole and Phil Nevin as well. Happy collecting.